If this episode resonated, please share it with another mum who might need it. Follow us on socials at Burnout Mamas.
Check out our journey and we will help you to reconnect with yourself again. Please subscribe and download to all our episodes. It helps us a ton and keeps this podcast going.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hello everyone. Happy Friday.
It's Friday, the sun's shining.
Loving it. And welcome back to the Burnt Out Mamas podcast. So guys, today is such an important one, and honestly, one we think so many women are silently thinking about right now. We're joined by the amazing Tash from the Clear Head Club, recovery coach and someone who has now been sober for 8 years. Woo woo! And what we really wanted to talk about today isn't just alcohol itself, but why so many women are starting to question their relationship with drinking altogether. But for years, alcohol has been sold to mums as wine o'clock, mum survival, you deserve this. But what happens when you realise it might actually be making everything worse? We're going to chat honestly about sober curiosity, motherhood and drinking culture, confidence without alcohol, social pressure, identity changes, mental health, and what actually happens when you finally clear your head. So Tash, welcome to Burnt Out Mamas. We're so happy to have you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So for anyone who doesn't know your story yet, can you tell us a little bit about you and your sobriety journey? Was there a specific moment, that's a big word for this Monday, the morning, when
I
you
knew what you meant.
Yeah, I can't keep living like this anymore. I mean, there's times when I felt like that. I'm like, oh God, this hangover is killing me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that everyone who's drank alcohol at some point has woken up and thought, I'm never drinking again.
Yeah, am I going to die today?
Yeah, exactly. I remember I did Google actually quite a few times, like, can you die from a hangover? But, you know, the reason that is because genuinely alcohol is poison.
Of course it is, yeah.
It's a poisonous, toxic substance that actually isn't meant to be ingested by human beings. And that is why it's your body's way of telling you the next day when you wake up, you feel like absolute shit, you're being sick and you can't move. It's your body's way of saying, what the hell have you done to me? This isn't meant to be inside of me. But yeah, I mean, there were many times that I could have taken, you know, during the time that I was drinking as a rock bottom or a wake up moment, which I never did, until I got to the point in January 2017 where I hit, for me, what was my rock bottom, a place where I felt I cannot get any lower than this. I just would never have wanted to have got any lower than where I was. Although, if I hadn't have changed, I absolutely would have. You know, there's always lower and lower to go. But thank God I did make a change. And, you know, as terrible as that time was, that rock bottom, I still didn't get it straight away. I still relapsed after that. And it took me a full year to get sober for the very last time, and here I am now, 8 years sober.
Wow, that's an achievement. With your 8 years sober, did you do it all by yourself or did you have some help?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I tried some of the traditional groups that people might be aware of, like AA, so Alcoholics Anonymous, NA, Narcotics Anonymous. For myself personally, they weren't for me. I just didn't find them helpful. But I know many people who wouldn't be able to do their sobriety without them. So I always say to everybody, try everything. There's loads out there. There are so many resources and so much help, especially now. There's not so much of a stigma. It was more, you know, years ago it would be like in hushed silence, I can't tell anyone, like it's really shameful. There is still a little bit of that around, but certainly it's more celebrated now. And I think that comes from voices like mine and people being open and honest about their stories. So it normalises and it lessens that stigma. So I have found like my own ways to solidify my sobriety and keep myself well and live a really happy and fulfilling life, because for me that's what sobriety is. Like, I didn't get sober and go through that hell to live the same life. I had to completely destroy that life and leave it behind in the past to then build this new life. So everything I work on now and everything that I do and I implement into my life is about, yes, staying sober, but living a life so amazing that I wake up every day not wanting to escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I've actually got friends actually that say, because I don't know what it is when you're in your 40s as well, when you do go out, I don't know if it's a bit, everyone goes a bit more mental, but in the next day they're like, oh, I've got the worst anxiety, I just don't want to drink anymore, but then they're in that cycle. What would you say to them to take the first step, or what do you think, what were your first signs? So like, you know, when you said I can't keep living like this anymore.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was a shit show from the start. It wasn't like a slow burner for me, honestly. I started drinking at 13, but like, I don't know
Yeah,
how
we
old
did.
you girls are, but I'm like, born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. So I was brought up around the time where it was quite normal for us to be drinking cider in parks.
Oh my
And then
God.
waking up in
Oh
fields.
yeah. We were raving at
Exactly the
14.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were clubbing at like 14, 15,
And then we
weren't
used to
we?
go
Yeah,
for
same.
ladies' nights. Like we were out, I remember one week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was out every night.
I mean, and actually, it's when you think of it back,
It's
it
terrible.
was a dangerous life
Yeah.
we were living, because actually, I reckon half our generation when we were younger turned into alcoholics. In fact, you had an ex-boyfriend who
Oh yeah,
who
actually
turned into an
passed away
alcoholic.
recently.
Yeah, and he turned
Oh.
because of that. He worked in London, but it was that culture of drinking
Yeah.
at lunch, drinking after work. And actually, I remember 17, 18, that was my life. We just used to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not Sunday sometimes,
But you
but
used to,
Thursday,
it was
Friday,
normalised in the
Saturday.
fact that you just got up, went to work. I remember I came in once at 4 or 5, and then I went to work at Coughlan's, and then I went out again that night, and I don't know how I did it. I mean, I'm done for like 2 weeks now. The first week,
We've been taught hair of the dog though, haven't we? It's have another
Yeah,
drink, you'll be absolutely fine.
yeah.
hair of the dog. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I think well, when you're going through the menopause as well, like I'm in mid-40s. I think it makes it worse. I mean, I am in control of it, but the more I don't drink, I actually don't crave it. But when I've had a night out, I'm thinking, oh God, like I feel so shit. Like, why did I do that? But
Yeah.
it's a hard one, isn't it? I actually do get a bit of anxiety before I go out, because I'm like, I actually feel really good, really positive, but it takes my motivation away for the week after. Like, I
Of
don't
course.
feel like I can be bothered to push myself at work, or so I couldn't do that every weekend. No.
What was the point, Natasha? Like, if you don't mind us asking,
Yeah.
No.
Did you used to drink every night, or was
Yeah.
it? Yeah, was it?
Yeah. So, like I said, I started drinking at 13, and it was just quite a normal thing for children to binge drink and to get alcohol poisoning. And
Oh
Many other
God.
times we
and
had it.
you know, we
Yeah.
were standing there like with our lunch money that we saved up. Like, excuse me, mate, just some random adult, could you get us some cider? The random adult would go, yeah, sure, give us your money. And get us some fags and some cider, and then we'd just
Oh,
go like
that's
down some
horrendous.
back alley somewhere. Like you said, it was so dangerous. I look back
Exactly
now, I
the
think,
same.
well, I don't know how I'm still alive.
Yeah, I mean, I was traveling,
No.
and the situations we got into in Thailand, I think, how am I still alive?
I know. We question it. We question it.
It was great experiences, but there was a few arguments with my friends that I feel like wouldn't have happened if we weren't on
Oh, yeah.
alcohol. And it's things like that I regret, because then you felt crap afterwards, and you know, your inhibitions go, you feel like you're in the right, and you would just argue over nothing, and then you had that awkwardness after. Yeah, I think it does have a massive effect on friendships, and things happen when you're drunk you wouldn't do sober.
Your life all round. Yeah, it's funny actually, because I did a reel yesterday saying exactly the same thing. Like, there is, like, you know, the sayings like, oh, the truth comes out when you've had a drink, or that's like that's the real them, or if you do it drunk then you would sober, or whatever. You know, you can't blame it on having a drink. And no, I wouldn't blame everything on having a drink. You know, I am an adult, and I made the decisions to pick up that drink and drink irresponsibly, and then the actions came from that. But honestly, me as a person, and the person that I've been in the last 8 years, I've never got into the trouble or done all the things that I did whilst I was drinking. And it just turns you into a completely different person. You lose all that essence of yourself, and you become unreliable, you become risky, you become dangerous. You know, not everybody is as bad as I was. But still, I think everybody who's drank alcohol, like you girls said, when your inhibitions come down and you start losing that sense of you and your values, you act like a different person. I think everybody will have a story or a time that they've gone, I can't believe I did that, or a regretful memory or something like that. It really does change, because it changes your brain chemistry, and it shuts down different parts of your brain which make you you. So,
And
so I was, sorry, just a quick. So it not only does it shut down like your motor function, so which is why we end up people falling over, they can't walk or talk properly, they're slurring. It also shuts down, you know, the pathways in your brain which are keeping you safe and keeping you sane.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's a
dangerous substance.
Yeah, and it's dangerous. Even thinking about it and talking about that, it actually wakes you up to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You think,
It doesn't, because it's been so normalised. You know, you're brought up, you see alcohol. It's part of most people's normal life. It's all around us. It's normalised. It's glamorised. If it's not in your home, it's on the TV. It's in advertisements. It is everywhere. It's in the shops. You know, there are aisles dedicated to it. There's more aisles for alcohol than there is for fruit and veg. So it's very, very normal. And so why would you question that when you're brought up in a society where it's glamorised and normalised, and we're not really told the truth about it? We're actually conditioned to think that you can't celebrate without it. The biggest and best times of our lives that people really look forward to, you know, wetting the baby's head, their weddings, birthdays and everything. Well, we don't bloody remember them because we're all pissed.
yeah,
That's so true, isn't it?
yeah,
God.
yeah, I know.
I mean, do you remember on your wedding, our brother?
My brother nearly missed my wedding, and he was like
strolled up with the bridal cart because he'd missed all the cabs,
and he's meant to be showing everyone to their seats. Like, this is, and I was so angry at him. I was
turned up,
and then he was like, he was just so drunk the night before. He slept through his alarm, and I was like, oh my gosh, like
it felt horrendous all day. So
horrendous all day, and then did the hair of the dog, and then was doing headstands and everything by the night.
But I mean, why do you think alcohol has become so tied to like motherhood and stress relief? Because actually there was a point, and I feel really bad for saying this, I don't do it now, I don't even crave it in the week, but I remember when the babies were really young and I was just like, oh, I just need a glass of wine to take the edge of the day off. And but then I'd feel more tired the next day. So, and you know, I'm sure there's other stuff I could have been doing, but it was just so normalised. I needed a glass of wine. It's been a tough day, you know?
Yeah, exactly like you said, normalised. And I actually think it stems from clever advertising, because I think it keeps that business booming, and it keeps them people very, very rich. When you've got, women are half the population, and a lot of us are mothers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, girls, it froze. I was just making sure that you're still there.
Yeah.
So, and I think very, very clever advertising, and I really, really fed into that as well. You know, you get funny memes. I had, when I was drinking, I had magnets up on the fridge, like save water, drink wine. And I was like, and I would share these memes all the time, and what it does for somebody who may be struggling behind the scenes, who has no, because like I said, because of that stigma. So if you're a mum who is relying, let's say, on a bottle of wine a night because you're knackered, your life has completely changed. Maybe you are feeling a bit shit because you've just had a baby. Everything is different. Your body is different. And so you're relying on what you've been told and conditioned that this will make you feel better because this will take the stress off and you deserve a treat at the end of the day. So then you're having that bottle of wine, but it's making you feel even worse. And then you're hiding that secret because of the stigma, because you don't want to say, oh, I'm a new mum and I'm struggling and I'm drinking too much. Then you see a meme that tells you actually what you're doing is absolutely fine and it's funny and we're all doing it. So that makes you feel like, oh, actually what I'm doing is okay. And they're funny, they're shareable, they are relatable. And I just think it all comes down to that. But I don't think, to say that motherhood is easier when you're drinking is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. And do you know what? I think a lot of it as well. I remember when I used to go out before, I used to say, I just want one or two. And there was so much peer pressure. Like people would be like, oh, go on, have one more. And I'm like, no, I'm actually okay. Or when people do rounds and I'm like, and they were like, you're tight. And I was like, no, I just want one or two drinks. And then because it's rounds, there's 10 people in it. You end up having 10 drinks. And before you know it, you're pissed out of your head, and like, I was actually happy to just have one or two. But there's all of that when you're in that group environment, or don't drive tonight, have a drink, go on, be
when
fun.
Someone brings the shots out.
And I'm like, oh, I don't want shots. I'll drive tonight. No, don't drive. Come and have a bit of fun. I'm like, I'm actually
There's
okay.
There's a lot of peer pressure.
Yeah.
I do feel though that that there is a shift, 100%.
Especially with the new generation.
Especially with the new generation. Like, I've
amazing.
got stepchildren that are not really interested in drinking at all, that are completely different to me when I was in my 18, 19-year-old life. I mean, I probably wasn't even seen by my parents. I was always out. But but there's a definite shift, and I feel like there's a lot of people.
Well, wine sales are completely down.
Yeah,
but I think the older generation, they don't understand it.
All the pubs and clubs are closing, aren't they? And paddle places are popping up everywhere. It's like all the kids are joining the gym now. It's fantastic.
It's good. It's good.
I mean, my dad and my stepmom, they're always having entertainment and parties, and there's champagne flowing. So I don't know how they'd feel if I was to say, would you go sober? It's a different mentality, isn't it? They don't. Yeah.
And I think, like some people don't need to. There are people who can literally have a drink and not abuse it and it not ruin their life. At the same time, there are people like me who completely abuse those substances, and my life went to absolute hell. And then there are also people that I speak to who drink every now and again, but that doesn't serve their life either. So it's like, I only drink once every couple of months, but when I do, I binge drink, and then I feel like rubbish, so I don't want to do it anymore. So, everybody's different, and I'm not here to, to put everyone down who's drinking alcohol and say nobody should drink alcohol. All I do is tell my story, where it came from me, because I know that it's not just me, that it is actually very, very common for people to struggle. And when I'm open and honest with my story, that lessens the stigma, that normalises it, that makes people feel, more heard, more supported. And when you can relate to somebody, if you're in a place where you feel like you're stuck and you're struggling, that's going to give them hope.
Yeah. Can I ask, what was your darkest point that made you shift, like when you were drinking? If you don't mind me asking.
No, don't mind you asking anything, girls. Honestly, it's fine. That was the rock bottom for me in January 2017. And, it wasn't like life was going great, and I just hit this rock bottom. It had accumulated over a certain amount of time, over years of I was I was a party girl in the beginning, and I was out in Ibiza, and I was in London, and I was in wine bars, and then it got to the point where I was drinking on my own at home, and I was doing cocaine, and I was taking speed, I was doing drugs throughout the day, and I was drinking about 3 bottles of wine a day. And I was passing out most nights. I would wake up in different areas of the house, you know, still in my clothes from the night before, with my makeup on from the night before. I woke up surrounded by broken glass, where I just passed out and dropped my wine glass. I woke up before with the doors wide open, where I've been smoking outside. My kids are upstairs in bed, can't remember putting them to bed. I've left the door open and I'm passed out. Anything could have happened. The house could have burned down, an intruder could have come in. That's where my life was. At that point, it was unmanageable. I'd gone from an addiction, which I was still kind of functioning. I felt like absolute shit all the time, but I was still managing to get up and live my life. And then it got to the point where I actually and like quite a few times I would ring up my son's school and say, can't come in, he's not well. I physically couldn't move to get him into school. And when I was taking him to school, I mean, that was actually better not taking him into school, because when I was taking him into school, I was still pissed, in a dressing gown, driving the car, and then, right, go on then, Frankie, goodbye, and then just whizzing off in my car. And so that was where life was. Mentally, I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And I felt like I can't leave the kids, so I won't actually kill myself, but if I died, it'd be a good thing. And I would drive around in my car without seatbelt on, and I'd think, hopefully someone will hit me, I'll get into an accident, and then without the seatbelt on, I'll die. Because that life would be better without. I just can't live like this anymore. It was such a struggle. It was awful, but I felt completely stuck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to change. And so what happened was I kept pushing, I kept living that life. And it got to the point where I did hit that rock bottom. And it was over the course of 3 days. I was on a 3-day bender. I was drinking, I was taking drugs, and I hardly had any sleep. And I was with family members, and my children were there. Children would go to bed, put them down to bed at night, and I would, we were downstairs in the kitchen doing drugs and drinking. And now for me, like I said, it was normal. I was with family. That's what we'd always done. If you'd have asked me at that time, are you a good mum? I'd have said, yeah, absolutely. I am a really good mum. I love my kids. My kids are with me. I know exactly where they are. I was completely delusional. Of course, now I'm out of that. I see that that's terrible parenting. And of course, I was not doing the best for my children. They should have never have been in that situation. And so over the course of this 3 days, we got to the last day of this drinking and drugging. And it was Sunday morning. Children were asleep in bed. I'd just taken an ecstasy tablet on top of everything that I'd already taken, which was cocaine and alcohol. And it was about 6 a.m. and I thought to myself, thinking I was being sensible after all of that, maybe I should go and try and get some sleep. The kids would be up soon. So I tried to get some sleep, couldn't sleep, obviously, with all of those substances soaring through my body. And my children woke up. And so I followed my daughter, who was at the time 2. My son was older at the time, he was about 9. And I followed her around the house, and I was like a zombie. It's like the lights were on and no one's home. At that point, I was completely drained of all life. It was weird because I was completely numb. So it was like I was soulless. I couldn't feel anything apart from this awful, soul-crushing feeling of dread. And I remember her going down the stairs and I couldn't walk. So I was sat with my bum on the stairs and I was just bumping down the stairs. And I was in the living room at one point. I don't know how long she wasn't in the living room for, but I noticed that she wasn't there and I thought, oh, Isla's not here. So I got up, dragged myself up, and went to find her. And I found her in the kitchen, sitting down on the kitchen floor, playing with some toys. And I just looked, and I could just see the back of her and her little blonde hair and her little tiny pink pajamas, and she was so tiny and small and innocent. And I just looked at her, surrounded by the chaos of my life and every decision that I had made. And it just, honestly, it just hit me like a lightning bolt, seeing her there where only hours before we had been taking drugs and smoking and drinking. And I just thought, this isn't the life that I want for you or my son or myself. And it was in that moment there, it was almost like an epiphany. And it was weird because, like I said, I had nothing in me at that time. There was no essence of me, but there must have just still been something there. And I thought, I'm never, ever going to drink again. And I managed after that point to stay sober for 5 months. But I wasn't quite ready for it yet, and I still relapsed. And then it took me another 7 months of getting sober, relapsing, getting sober and relapsing to then get sober again in January 2018. Funnily enough, both dates were the 23rd of January.
Wow.
Complete full circle, year apart. I never meant for them to be those dates. And they just ended up, I feel like it was life giving me a second chance. And so, yeah, that was it. And it was, you know, it's something that I used to lay in bed at night and think about and shudder. And it was something very shameful that I thought, I'll never be able to talk about this. I can never tell anyone this. You know, it's so awful. But like I said, when you are open and honest about your story, you help other people.
Thank you for sharing that, because that, I mean, at times that was like, wow, there's definitely people that are experienced that,
and probably have not got the courage yet to talk about it because of what they've been through as well. And yeah,
if you don't mind me asking, obviously it was probably normalized because you were with family members. Where are those family members? Do you still mix with them? Because that must be a hard, you know, like they always say, when you stop drinking or taking drugs, you have to disassociate yourself from those environments to take away the temptation. I mean, do they understand where you're coming from, and how is that whole sort of dynamic worked out?
Yeah, I think it has been. It's actually been quite challenging. It's funny because you do something like that, and to me, it's a really good thing. And I'm working hard to better my life, but not everyone can see and understand it like that. And I think for some people as well, when you get sober, they then have to kind of look. If they accept your decision to get sober and you saying, I don't want to live that life anymore, it could sometimes be taken as an attack on themselves and their lives. So not everybody receives it well. And you know what? That's okay. You just have to let people get on with their own lives and accept whatever they want and not let it affect you. You always have to just live and keep in mind that if you are doing something for the benefit of yourself and your life and the people around you, then that's it. Because I think that is a worry for a lot of people. When I speak to my clients or other people who are asking advice, they do worry about the life and the people that they're going to leave behind. I often get asked, you know, did you have to change your friendship groups and things? And yeah, is the answer. And that doesn't need to be forever. I mean, come on, you cannot change your life and expect to live in exactly the same way. It's not going to work. So you've just got to put yourself first. And if that means removing yourself from other people and situations and circumstances, then that is what you've got to do.
Yeah.
Also, I think I know when I stopped going out for a while, it is quite lonely because you associate your Friday, Saturday nights with mixing with friends, going out, but you'd say, oh, should we meet for a coffee? And they'd be like, oh, that's boring, you know, like, I'll meet you tonight. And it was like, okay, so unless I go out, they think that I'm blowing them out, and there was a bit of a control there. So I actually did lose a few friends in friendship. I mean, I do drink now, but my life has changed a lot from where I was in my 20s. Like, if I was in my 20s and I see this, I think I would have 100% gone sober. Obviously now it's different, but there's things in my life that I've put in that I really enjoy that don't involve alcohol. But you don't necessarily see those friends as much because their Friday, Saturday nights are out, out drinking
And I think it
yeah.
becomes, I think as mums anyway, you lose yourself. You really do after having a baby. I mean, I actually went through that point
Yeah.
and I literally couldn't wait for a drink. However, my husband is like quite a good support for me. And I would be like, oh, I need a glass of wine. I need a glass of wine. And like exactly what we were talking about at the beginning of the podcast, it's a coping mechanism because you lose yourself and you forget about your identity and who you are for that moment of time, and you're like, I need a wine to heal me. But it's literally like you said, it's doing that complete opposite of to you. It's messing with all your chemicals in your brain. And actually saying that, when I would have a glass of red wine or two, I actually couldn't sleep. It was like
Yes.
it was worse because, like you said, it caused that anxiety. My husband's really strict. He's like he goes to the gym and everything else. So now for us as a family, we only drink on a Friday, Saturday, like a glass of wine for dinner, and 2 is the maximum I'll ever have. Like after that, I feel terrible the next day. But it is. But yeah, even sometimes I must put my hands up because I do crave a glass of wine in the week. And I think it is, maybe I could talk to you about that, because it's that tiredness and it's that feeling of, I'll have that because it'll make me feel better. Now, why is that? Because I'm sure other mums feel the same in that moment of tiredness. Oh, have a glass of wine.
What would you recommend instead?
I mean, it's a quick fix.
Yes.
It's a quick fix, isn't it? And it's well, as human beings, we all do want the quick fix with everything. It's like, well, where's the pill that I can take? Like, come on, I don't want to do the hard work.
Yeah.
And was consumerism as well. There's so much out there on the market. So it's clever advertising, it's marketing, it's telling you look, buy our product. This is going to make you feel this way. So we've been conditioned to feel like, I mean, how easy is it? There's so many clever ways to market it. It's marketed as glamorous. All the bottles look bloody gorgeous, don't they? I walk past some bottles, I'm like, that's beautiful. That bottle. And the champagne flutes and everything, and it's all romanticised. It's like, oh God, how nice is it going to be for me to put my feet up and sit in the bubble bath and have this glass of wine, and it's going to take everything away because you get that that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there are other things in life that you can get that feeling from without alcohol, and then the repercussions of that after.
Yeah.
Like what they do on cigarettes now. So everything is. But when cigarettes first came around, we were told that they were good for you. Men used to come up from the bloody mines and they'd have a cigarette ready to put in your gob because they said that it was going to clear your airwaves. And it's the same. There's the thing is with alcohol, it is a drug, and if you ask people, what's the biggest drug that kills the most people? People would think off the top of their head like, oh, heroin or something like that. It's not, it's alcohol. And it costs the NHS billions. It's a poison. It's not meant to be in your body. That's going back to what we said earlier, that's the reason why it makes you feel so bad. New studies are coming out all the time now as well. And it's been completely proven that it's linked to so many different kinds of like cancers, so all of that. Now, if they were honest, like they were on cigarette packets, imagine you walk down the aisle and instead of seeing those beautiful bottles and it tells you, oh, this is so nice, there's hints of honey and oak. It's like, drink this and you may develop 50 different types of cancers and stuff like that. It's not going to advertise as well, is it?
No, so
it's not as glamorous as they make it out to be.
Yeah. Did you rely on anything like spirituality or fitness to get you through that, or like what kind of journey did you go on to feel the way you do now?
Yeah, so before I got sober, I mean, it was a very, very negative time, and I didn't have any kind of faith, spirituality, hope. The best thing I had in my life was the kids, and I wasn't even doing, the best for the kids. So I truly felt very empty, like I had nothing in life. And then when I got sober, it was just something that happened very organically. My main number one focus was just stay sober. And one of the things that really helped me, and I didn't need to overthink it wasn't any formula that I put together, but my most triggering place was my home. That's where I used to drink the most, and specifically in my kitchen. So when I used to pick up my daughter was young, still in a buggy, and my son was at school, I'd do the school run, I'd come home. The worst thing that I could do is sit twiddling my thumbs like, oh my God, overthinking. I feel really, really triggered here. So I would put my daughter in the buggy, get my son on his scooter, and we would go out and we would walk, and we'd go to parks. And then I found that when I got home after that walk, and it kind of like cleared my mind, gave me a lot of clarity. I was moving my body, so I was getting endorphins, I was keeping myself busy. I got back home, I always felt so much better, and the craving had gone. So then every time I felt that way, I was like, right, let's go, let's get out. Then walking, moved on to hiking, and then I ended up I had no qualifications all the time. All the time that I was drinking, I worked in bars and clubs, or I didn't work, and I was on the dole, and in and out of jobs, getting sacked. Never knew who I was, what I wanted to do or be. Couldn't hold anything down. So then I got sober, realised how much I loved and how beneficial it was for me to move my body and do exercise. Took a personal training course, qualified as a personal trainer, started my own business, and then it all just accumulated from there. I also feel like when I was out and I was hiking, that was the beginning of a spiritual journey for me, because that was me being outside on my own in nature, time to think. And I wasn't numbing anything with any outside substances, which I had done for so many years. So it was also the start of a spiritual journey for me.
I do feel like exercise is. I've started running at the moment, and already I feel so great.
Like an amazing high.
Oh, I'm like amazing, and it's that energy creates energy in your body, and it for me. And also, whenever I have a heavy head, I just go for a walk. Like, it just grounds me straight away. I hate it when it rains. I cannot go out when it rains.
I love running rain.
That is one thing. Fair weather walker.
I am, yeah.
My mind's got blank. What I was going to say was, you look amazing.
Yeah,
thanks, darling.
You're such an
You look glowing.
inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, how did you get your Clear Head Club off the ground? What was your first steps in doing that?
Again, it's just everything that's happened has happened very organically for me. So it started with, and I had no purpose, no drive whatsoever all the time that I was drinking. Like I said, I didn't know who I was as a person, what I wanted, why I was here. I used to think, what's the point in this? Why am I here? Wandered around just pissed aimlessly for years. And so when I started my personal training business, I started working with women. It was women only, personal training. And I built bonds with the girls. And not only were we helping our physical health, actually it was that mental kind of clarity and boost and community that we had together, which meant the most to us. It was an incredible time. It was so wonderful having that. And then so from there were different things that branched off from that, and I put on vigils and marches for women's safety and women's rights. And then I started working and volunteering within adult social care. working with people. It was about 3 or 4 years into my sobriety, so I was quite solid then in my own sobriety, and working with clients, just volunteering in substance misuse. I took courses whilst I was there. Then I was offered an employed job, and then from there I just started working on my own, taking private clients on, and then from there the Clear Heads Club came. So it was all these little steps that kind of accumulated together, and nothing really was overthought or this is what I want to do. I always knew I wanted to help people, because at the beginning of my journey, it was Instagram, it was people online who were open and honest about their experience that were my biggest inspiration. And so that's why I do it, because I know that's the one thing that helped me the most.
Amazing. I think in this life we all have a purpose, and your purpose was to obviously help people, and I feel like you had to go through that journey to be where you are now. And I think when you're, like you said, under substances and everything else, you lose who you are, you lose your identity,
you lose time,
and you lose what your purpose is in life. And it's amazing to see you as a role model to completely be that person who knows their purpose, they know their self, they know their identity. You love yourself, which is amazing. And I feel this is what we're trying to put on burnt out mums, is retaining and getting back our identity again
without substance abuse.
Yeah.
I need to take note. Quick fire question: coffee or matcha?
Coffee.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not matcha. I'm matcha. Yeah,
it's Marmite thing.
Ideal sober night.
Oh, sunset on the beach, barbecue.
Oh yeah, and you're in Eastbourne, so I'm actually, it's my dream to be by the sea. Biggest green flag in a person?
Trust.
Love it. What instantly drains your energy?
Negativity.
Love it. One thing every burnt out mum needs to hear.
You can do it. You've got this. You're amazing.
Love it. Right. Favourite form of self.
Wine.
No, you don't. You don't. Favourite form of self-care now?
Exercise.
Yep. What does having a clear head actually mean to you?
Just living an amazing life with clarity and kindness and love.
I love that.
I love it. And
we can't wait to. You obviously offer retreats as well. We can't wait. Yeah. We had a chat just at the beginning, didn't we? So we're hoping that we can come to one of your retreats.
Could you just explain, just briefly,
I'd love to have you there, girls. Yeah.
How a retreat would work for you? Just overview.
Yeah. So they're held here in Eastbourne, and again, just quickly going back to drinking, I didn't appreciate anything. I had no gratitude whatsoever for life, and then now that I don't drink, I love everything. Sometimes I think you're getting irritating now, because I'm. Isn't that wall beautiful? Like, I love. So Eastbourne, I always feel so lucky to live here. Like, we've got the countryside, we've got the cliffs, the South Downs, we've got the sea, the beach. So I incorporate all of that into our retreats, and we all meet together. Start with coffee or tea or matcha, whatever it is that you have, some homemade banana bread, and then everyone just kind of like introduces each other to each other, like nothing like an icebreaker. It's not awkward like that, so everyone can just have their drink and get to know each other. Then we go on a hike up on the downs, which is just so beautiful, just so scenic, gorgeous, and that lasts like an hour to an hour and a half. We come down into a secret garden from there, have some brunch, whole foods, some more to drink, and we do meditation, yoga, like journaling, gratitude, manifestation practices. And then from there, we've got an outdoor sauna that we use on the beach. Optional sea swims, because I know it's not for everybody. You're not forced into doing anything. And then there's ice baths there as well.
Wow.
It
So
sounds
it's so lovely as well to get together. Like you said earlier, if you're going on a different life path where you want to start doing something different from out of, let's call it, the norm, what you've been doing, it can feel isolating sometimes. So to come somewhere like this where you are on the same kind of journey and path as other people is such an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
I can't wait.
I need to get back into the healing journey, because in my 20s, I did a lot of retreats, and I had a little bit of a breakdown in my mid-20s over different things. And you forget it, and life carries on. And I felt so good when I did some little retreats. We used to go with Mum, didn't we? Yoga retreats. And yeah, I think it's so good for your soul, and especially the sea.
It's a
like a reset, isn't it?
Not refresh and reset.
Reset,
Yeah,
and
it is both.
Off the ice bar.
Yeah.
So do they go onto your website and book the retreats?
Well, actually, that page is under construction at the minute. So the best place to go to is my Instagram, which is at theclearheadclub_, and just send me a DM, and then I can send all of the details over that way, just because I don't know when that page is going to be up and running just yet. It won't be too long, but I don't want to send them there and there's nothing there.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Honestly, I've really loved this chat. I think it's been really refreshing, actually.
Yeah,
It has. It's been brilliant.
Thank you for being so honest as well.
There's so many people out there and just questioning their relationship with alcohol, stress, burnout, and modern motherhood as well. So I hope this has helped some people. And if you're feeling a bit wobbly, get booked on one of Tasha's retreats. I know we might want to go.
Yeah, we'll be there, hopefully.
And I hope everybody listens to the podcast and found it interesting today. If it's resonated with you, please send it to another mum. And thank you for coming on today, Tash.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, girls.
Thank you. And been a very big inspiration to many people.
Yes.
So thank you. And if anybody is listening, you can follow our podcast on Spotify and Apple. And we've got some other huge guests coming on soon. Yeah, Tash, you've just been incredible today.
We'll tag Tash in all our posts, collaborate with you. And if we've got any discount codes or information, we'll put it also on the posts. We've got a really big celebrity coming on very soon. I'm not going to drop names.
Oh, girls, you better tell me once this is down.
Well, yeah, so we'd love, if anybody's got an idea of a guest that would like to come on, just get in touch and keep listening. We need those numbers up to get more good guests on.
Thank you, guys. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. No wine.
No wine.
If you're loving the show, don't forget to download our latest episodes. It helps us a ton by boosting the show and making sure more people find us.
Plus, you can listen anytime, anywhere, even offline.
And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Spotify so you never miss a new drop.
Want even more behind the scenes content? Follow us on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok at Burnout Mamas, one word, for exclusive clips, updates and fun extras.
Hit that follow button, send us a message and let's keep the Burnout Mamas community going.